Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace.
Yes.
And grace upon grace.
This is TVLC.
Tucson never fails to offer a humbling, inviting, and awe-inspiring landscape.
Breathtaking views.
Incredible sunsets.
A desert oasis with iconic features.
That tell our common story.
We see God's handiwork at every corner.
Our home gives us permission to dream big because our community and our neighbors need us to.
TVLC is on the move.
And as God's Spirit continues to call us, shape us, mold us, and direct us,
we are called to wonder.
To take the invitation to envision God's future.
Full of life.
Full of possibility. Full of hope.
we invite you to think big as we seek to follow Jesus and share his love.
There is really nothing more central or important to who we are as Lutheran Christians than this amazing grace of our God who has come to us in Jesus and who by his grace saves us and redeems us and calls us to be a part of the work of his kingdom, his church. It was this grace that was central in the gathering of that first group of individuals who came together at an apartment building at Pantano and Wrightstown in 1973. This grace that has inspired individuals for the past 45 plus years to invest in this community. And this grace that has carried this community through the dangers, toils, and snares that have come along the way. And so we want to acknowledge that all we do today is building upon the foundation of grace that has been laid for us. And we also want to acknowledge that we serve a God who is not done pouring out grace, that there are more lives to be changed, that there are more defining moments to be had, and that there is more grace to be shared in the years to come in this community. With that, TVLC leadership has identified 4 mission-critical projects here on our campus that will help us live into our vision in the coming years. One of the greatest blessings we experience at TVLC is that we have kids that fill our campus, both on the weekends and throughout the week. For over 40 years, our preschool and kindergarten has provided early childhood education from a Christian perspective, and has connected numerous families from our community to our church. Going forward, we see our preschool and kindergarten continuing to be a vital part of our ministry as we seek to share Jesus' love and connect the disconnected in our community. We currently have 130 children in our preschool and kindergarten, and a key need that has emerged is the updating and expanding of our playground. Our playground area gets crowded in the day when there are multiple classes using it. In addition, the main structure and support walls are showing signs of age and no longer meet current safety standards. We envision expanding our current space with a large new play structure suited for ages 2 to 12. A new retainer wall will be added around the sand area, and a new wall and wrought iron fencing will open the playground up visibly to the north, blending in with our current landscaping and communicating to all who visit our campus that children are welcome and valued at TVLC.
I'm really excited about the new playground that is in the works. Our kids have gone to preschool here, and hopefully this little guy will get to actually play on it.
Lucy, our granddaughter, goes to school here. And I started talking to her about it and stuff, and she was so excited that the playground was going to be new and something different.
We are a thriving church.
Along with the playground, our education building serves as the main classroom area for the preschool and a key venue for Sunday school and VBS activities. The building is currently 40 years old and has held up well, but there are some areas that need attention. The room dividers, which have a dated look and are now solely used in the expanded position, would be removed and replaced with permanent walls and doorways in the current configuration. In addition, new flooring and a new drop ceiling would bring a much needed refresh to the space.
And we talk about leaving a legacy. What better legacy than to improve the school area and to be able to plant that seed to more children in a safe, friendly environment.
That's the future. Those little children over there are what are going to make this church continue to be great.
My heart is for the children, and I don't think that there's a better way to bring children into the church besides through the preschool.
The school is a huge ministry.
You know, that's the kids, and the kids grow up and they become members also, and their parents also oftentimes will become members. And I think that's the basis. I mean, for our church to carry on, we have to make sure that we're taking good care of our youth.
The chapel is where it all began. In 1973, the Holy Spirit blew and assembled a church. From apartment clubhouse worship and elementary school gathering, a church was forming. In 1974, construction plans began for a worship space, for Sunday church school and an office. And TVLC broke ground right here, making a dedicated space for people to worship God and serve together. With its first service in 1977, this space served as the roots that gave wings to all the other buildings on campus. As TVLC grew, so did its need for a larger worship space. With the construction emphasis on the newer, larger sanctuary, the chapel went through several reincarnations. For many years, among the altar and the baptismal font, it sat collecting dust and was used for storage. The food ministry utilized the closet and would expand into the chapel for deliveries. The space was used for various multi-purpose events, gatherings, plays, preschool and Sunday school chapels. Amid the pandemic, the food ministry outgrew its chapel space, needing a permanent location to accommodate its increased food distribution. The food ministry set up on the stage, and the gathering service was also looking for a more intimate setting for worship, and the chapel provided the perfect location to grow into. That first Sunday of worship, you could hear the voices reverberate, the joy fill the air. A worship venue recaptured. It was clear that worship is meant to take place here, where it all began. We envision having the same first impression of our sanctuary with a beautiful, open and inviting space full of natural light. To help, we anticipate adding strategically placed windows and indirect light, perhaps even a reverse skylight that allows the hung cross to be illumined. Potentially introducing stone and a fixed altar, a raised ceiling to maximize the view of the stained glass. The back closets opened up for more seating, new elements like new flooring, a dedicated soundboard space, introducing recessed lighting. Upon entry, we are excited about the potential of a courtyard with a mural that defines an entry point into the chapel. In thinking about transformation, we want to give this space new life, fostering worship and ministry for the next several decades. We want to create an open and inviting space that accommodates smaller worship, up to 100 people, services like the gathering, weddings, funerals, concerts, perhaps even the 8 a.m. service. We also want to equip it with the latest technology for live streaming, seminars, and larger studies and presentations. As this space is the heartbeat of our campus, we want to reclaim it for worship. We want it to continue to be life-giving in new and exciting ways.
The light and the reflection of everything in that room will be enchantingly gorgeous. So,
chapel's where we started, and so to bring that back up and revitalize that is, to me, huge.
Having the meditation service in there, walking back in there to have a service meant more to me than I had even anticipated. I hadn't even thought about it until I walked in and I sat down and I looked up and I looked at the light fixtures and I was like, wow, I haven't been here in a long time.
Sometimes when I walk into that chapel, I go, I really, really wish that we could make some fun improvements for better learning about for the people and the children.
We'll be able to broadcast that service as well.
I like the idea of renovating the chapel.
That's sanctified ground that should be used. I love the idea that that's where the food ministry worked, right? I think that just, that imbued that space with that much more love and that much more,
Generosity.
Yeah.
Our church vision statement drives us forward. It directs us, informs us, and guides us. Our first pillar is to strive to be a church that welcomes all. Alongside the sanctuary bathrooms, we have an opportunity to further live into this vision through our underutilized small kitchen area. This space provides a perfect location and footprint for an accessible bathroom that could be used by those who are handicapped, families with children, or anyone who needs extra space and assistance. Given our 2 commercial kitchens on campus, this space is rarely used as a kitchen. In fact, it primarily is used for storage that can be easily located elsewhere. Since it's currently used as a kitchen, there's already some plumbing in the space, and while a smaller project, this would be a great step in helping us be a congregation that welcomes all.
These 4 projects we view as mission-critical projects as we seek to follow Jesus and share his love in the coming years. And in addition, we have a strategic goal of increasing our capacity for ministry by reducing our remaining mortgage debt. Paying off this debt early would serve to save interest, open up budget for additional ministry, and it would also provide significant financial flexibility and freedom to embrace new opportunities to serve each other and our world in the coming years.
It just shows me that there is a group of people here that cares about where this church can go, where it should go, and what it's going to take to get there. And I'm just, woot! Sorry, I don't know if you have a woot!
God is always pouring out grace upon grace.
Creation testifies to it.
Nature sings the song of grace.
It is written on our hearts as the people of God.
For the past 49 years, TVLC has been led by this grace.
It has become our firm foundation.
It is grace that has opened the hearts and minds of countless individuals to experience God's love in a community that cares for them.
It's grace that gives purpose and meaning to our lives.
It's grace that sends us out and gathers us in.
It's grace that holds us through the seasons of life.
It's grace that gives us Christ's continued hope on the horizon throughout every generation.
We join the unforced rhythms of grace
that save us,
find us, claim us, free us, and call us home.
It's grace upon grace.
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 To follow Jesus and share his love.